certainly was a privilege to go to Kenya to see how God is operating out in Kijabe. And like Sean and Tony said, we spent together 24/7 for about 8 days, and we slept together, ate together, showered together, separate beds, separate skulls, but well, most of the time. And if you're ever wondering if Sean only sounds like he's on Red Bull when he's on stage, it's actually 24/7. The whole time. All the time. All right, I am going to talk about the Maisha Maximum Security Prison and also Naomi's Village, which is an orphanage that is both ministry opportunities for New Life to participate out there. The prison is a maximum security prison. It has about 3,000 prisoners, and these prisoners are serving sentences of 10 years to life, and some of them are on death row. And the RBA school is actually involved with them, and Sandy Burton's wife is involved with them, and they go out there and serve these prisoners regularly. They also have chaplains who are there to give them spiritual guidance. And while they're there in prison, they also try to teach them trade skills so that when they get out into the community after they're serving their sentences, they're able to integrate back into society. For the most part, Kenya is a very communal society, and they all depend and respect one another. But if you go to prison, that is kind of a no-no, and it serves as kind of a scarlet letter when you come out. So they want to try to help these people to get back into society. And while they're there, they do get exposed to the Christian faith. Of the 3,000 prisoners that we met, 500 of them are professed Christians, and about 200 of them are Muslim. You can see the church up there on the slide. They quickly outgrew that. That was about 100 to 200 capacity, and now they meet in an open area where all the Christians come together every Sunday to worship, as they say, some of the best praise that you'll ever see. And that's the baptismal pool where they regularly baptize prisoners who accept Jesus Christ. It's the Christian library right there, where you can check out books from C.S. Lewis, John Piper, Tim Keller. They've got a lot of modern Christian authors, and so if you want to really educate yourself and learn about the faith, you have the opportunity while you're there. The prison also offers these inmates the ability to educate themselves and learn. A lot of them come in not being able to read, and they've started a school, which they offer primary and secondary education as well as theological education. The man in the tie at the top is a lifelong prisoner, and he's also the principal of this school. And down below you can see one of the classrooms that we walk by where they're learning how to read. And they also can learn trades, such as working with furniture or sewing or arts. And one of the things they do is metalwork, and they work with these pieces of iron to make chairs and different types of furniture. And I was just thinking to myself as I'm walking through this maximum security prison, you know, in America, rarely would they let prisoners have welding tools and awls and metal. It's crazy, because these are people who committed murder and are thieves, and they're kind of the worst of society, but they really do everything they can to try to teach them some skills so that what they can integrate. And when we first got dropped off at the prison, actually, the armed guards opened up the doors, and they let me and Sean and Tony walk through, and we had 2 chaplains with us who only had a Bible, that was it. And then the armed guards, I thought were going to come and walk behind us, but then they closed the door, and all of a sudden it was just the 5 of us, and there were these prisoners. They were all just walking around, and I was like, holy cow, we really have to trust God that we're not going to die out here. And I thought to myself, as long as I can outrun Tony, I'll be okay. Sean works out all the time, so I knew I was kind of screwed there, but Tony, I knew I was okay. One other opportunity that we had while we were there was to go to Naomi's Village, which is an orphanage, and they adopt children anywhere from a few weeks of age to 8 years of age. There are currently 57 orphans there, and the orphanage was founded and is operated by Dr. Bob and Julie Mendoza, who are originally from Dallas, Texas. Bob is an orthopedic surgeon who works at the Kijabe Hospital, and they actually live at the hospital in case there are emergencies, and the orphanage is about an hour away, but they travel to the orphanage every single day to serve the orphans. Of the 57 orphans, they're served by 53 staff members, so there's about a 1-to-1 ratio, and 6 of these kids are HIV who require a little bit more care. But these guys receive top-notch care, top-notch facilities, as you can see right here. And they spare no expense. The classrooms are very nice. You can see the amount of laundry that all these kids produce, and then they have nice beds, nice showers. Each of them have kind of their individual space. They actually had better amenities than we had while we were in Kijabe. And Dr. Bob and his wife have not actually adopted these kids. The orphanage itself adopts them. So they don't actually have parents per se, but what they do is they take these kids from when they're adopted all the way until they graduate from high school so that they can integrate back into society. And their hope is that by teaching them about Jesus Christ and then equipping them, they will be the future missionaries of Kenya. And this is really the vision that they have in this place, is that we want to equip the people of Kenya so that they will carry out God's work. You know, it's one thing for foreigners to come and profess Jesus Christ's name, but it's another thing for fellow Kenyans to do that, and that's what they're trying to do, raise up future soldiers. So we invite you guys to come at 1 o'clock. We're going to have a Q&A to talk about the opportunities that are there for next year, and especially if you want to go and you're a medical doctor or you're in the medical field, we want to answer any questions that you guys might have. One last thing I will mention is that you guys may have read in the newspapers this past week, there was an attack in Kenya at a university which is in a nearby city called Garissa, and 147 students were killed. These militants came in from Somalia and basically separated the Muslims from the Christians, and they went about executing the Christians. So Kenya has some security risks. There is some threat. You may have also heard of the Nairobi mall shooting, which occurred not that long ago. So when we go to a place like Kenya, there is some risk, but I believe that it is worth it because of Jesus Christ and what he has done on the cross. And I think that as New Life moves into these different countries, these Muslim areas, and Africa, we are protected by God when we do these things because of what Christ has done for us. Thank you so much.